The dust clung to everything in the Helmand Province outpost, a gritty haze that coated laptops, rifles, and the resolve of the men inside. Sergeant Ethan Caldwell, 38, sat on his bunk, the hum of a generator filling the silence. His squad had just returned from a 12-hour patrol and his bones ached from the weight of gear and the relentless Afghan sun. He opened his laptop expecting a logistics report or maybe a quick note from home. Instead, an email from his wife, Lauren, stared back at him. The subject line was cold, "Let's be adults about this." Ethan's pulse quickened, but his face stayed stone. 10 years of marriage, 4 deployments, and a house they'd built together in Seattle. He knew what was coming before he clicked. The message was brief, 3 sentences that hit like shrapnel. "I've filed for divorce. I've moved our savings to a new account. Travis is living with me now." No apologies, no explanations, just the end of a decade in 27 words. Ethan read it twice, closed the laptop, and stood. He showered in the communal stall, the water barely warm, and dressed for his next shift. He told no one. Back on his bunk that evening, he stared at the email again. Travis. The name nodded him. Lauren had mentioned a friend from her new gym last year, someone who got her into fitness. Ethan hadn't pressed, hadn't checked her phone or followed her. That wasn't him. But he wasn't blind either. For 6 months before this deployment, Lauren had changed. She stopped asking about his day, worked late at the dental office where she managed appointments, and bought clothes he never saw her wear. Her phone had a new passcode, her weekends filled with friends he never met. Ethan had sensed the drift but hoped he was wrong. Now, the truth was undeniable. He typed one word in reply, "Understood." No arguments, no pleas, no threats. He hit send and leaned back, the bunk creaking under his weight. His bunkmate, Corporal Ortiz, glanced up from a worn paperback. "Something up, Sarge?" he asked, eyes sharp despite his casual tone. Ortiz was a good man, quick with a joke but quicker to spot trouble. "Just some stuff back home," Ethan said, voice flat. Ortiz nodded, returning to his book. Military men knew when to leave things alone. Ethan's mind churned. He wasn't surprised, not really. The signs had been there, small but clear. A year ago, at a friend's barbecue in Seattle, Lauren had laughed with him, her hand in his, her eyes bright. But by last spring, those moments were gone. She'd snap when he called during her girls' nights, talk about her friend Melissa's new life after divorce, and hint they had nothing in common. Ethan suggested counseling. She brushed it off, saying they were just in a phase. He hadn't pushed. His father, a stoic mechanic, taught him to think before speaking, to be sure before acting. So Ethan watched, waited, and prepared. Before deploying 4 months ago, he'd made quiet moves. Nothing dramatic, just precautions. He rented a storage unit in Tacoma, stashing his grandfather's watch, his parents' old letters and key documents, birth certificate, marriage license, the deed to their house, in his name alone thanks to a VA loan. He opened a separate account at a different bank, redirecting a slice of his pay, not enough for Lauren to notice but enough to avoid starting from zero. The night before he left, she hugged him at Seattle-Tacoma Airport, her voice flat, "Stay safe, okay?" Her eyes were dry, like she was farewelling a coworker, not a husband heading to war. He should have known then. Now, in the dim outpost, Ethan opened his banking app. A notification hit him like a punch, a $90,000 withdrawal from their joint savings, leaving $19.42. He locked his phone, jaw tight. Lauren hadn't just left him, she gutted their life. He logged into their home security system, a setup he'd installed during his last leave. Lauren probably forgot he could access it remotely. The footage loaded, grainy but clear. A pickup truck sat in their driveway, one he didn't recognize. Inside, a man, Travis, no doubt, lounged in Ethan's recliner, sipping from Ethan's coffee mug, wearing Ethan's Seahawks hoodie. Lauren laughed in the kitchen, her voice carrying through the mic. Ethan's gut twisted, not from anger but from something colder, sharper. He closed the laptop and stood, the outpost's hum fading into the background. This wasn't just betrayal. It was theft, calculated and bold. Ethan didn't yell or curse. He planned. He'd never started a fight in his life, but he always finished them. Lauren didn't know it yet, but she just picked one with the wrong man. The Helmand outpost buzzed with routine, boots on gravel, radio chatter, the clatter of mess trays. Sergeant Ethan Caldwell, 38, moved through it all like a ghost, his face a mask of focus. 2 weeks had passed since Lauren's email, the one that gutted his marriage and their savings. Her words, divorce, Travis, new account, looped in his mind, but Ethan didn't break. He acted. In the dim light of his bunk, he opened his laptop, the screen casting a pale glow. His first move was to call Marcus Reed, a Marine buddy turned Seattle lawyer, over a secure line. "Ethan, you sound like hell," Marcus said, his voice crackling through the sat phone. "What's going on?" Ethan kept it brief. "Lauren filed for divorce. Emptied our savings, $90,000 gone. Moved her boyfriend into our house. I need you to look into it." Marcus whistled low. "Damn, man. That's cold. You got any paperwork, bank statements, deeds?" "In a Tacoma storage unit," Ethan said. "Deeds in my name, VA loan. Marriage license too. I'll send you the access code." "Smart move. Anything else I should know?" Ethan hesitated, then mentioned the security footage, Travis in his recliner, Lauren laughing. "Check the house, Marcus. Something's off." "Got it. Sit tight, I'll dig." "And Ethan, don't do anything stupid." Ethan hung up, the outpost's hum swallowing the silence. Stupid wasn't his style. He'd learned patience in the Corps where rash moves got men killed. Lauren thought she'd blindsided him, but Ethan had seen the cracks months ago. Her late nights at the dental office, new gym obsession, locked phone, they weren't just signs of a fading marriage. They were warnings. So he prepared quietly, like setting up a defensive position. Before deploying, he'd rented the Tacoma unit, locking away his grandfather's watch, his parents' letters, and the house deed. The VA loan kept the title in his name, a detail Lauren never questioned. He'd opened a secret account at a credit union, funneling $200 a paycheck, small enough to go unnoticed, enough to build a cushion. He hadn't told Lauren, hadn't confronted her. His father's voice echoed, "Think first, act sure." The dry hug at the airport, her flat, "Stay safe," had sealed it. She was already gone. Now, Ethan checked his banking app again. Another withdrawal, $47,000, leaving their savings at $12.19. He gritted his teeth, logging into the security system. New footage showed Travis grilling in their backyard, Lauren handing him a beer. The dog, Ranger, trailed them, tail wagging. Ethan's chest tightened. Ranger was his, a rescue from his last leave. Seeing Travis toss him a scrap felt like another theft. He messaged his squad leader, Master Sergeant Lopez, requesting a call. Lopez, a grizzled vet, patched through an hour later. "Caldwell, you look like you ate bad MREs. What's up?" "Personal issue, Top. Might need emergency leave soon. Can you keep it on the down low?" Lopez squinted. "Family trouble?" "Something like that. File the paperwork. I'll push it through if you need it." Lopez paused. "You good, Sarge?" "Good enough," Ethan said. Lopez nodded, signing off. Ethan valued that, no pity, just action. His next move was riskier. He logged into his military retirement account, confirming it was secure. Lauren couldn't touch it, but he wasn't taking chances. He changed passwords, added two-factor authentication, and emailed his benefits officer to flag any unusual requests. Then he checked the VA loan portal. No changes to the mortgage, but a new login attempt from Seattle popped up yesterday. Not his. His jaw clenched. Lauren, or Travis, was probing. That night, Corporal Ortiz caught him staring at the laptop. "Still those home issues, Sarge?" Ortiz asked, tossing his book aside. Ethan nodded. "Wife's moving fast. Took our savings, got a new guy in my house." Ortiz winced. "That's rough. You got a plan." "Working on it," Ethan said. Ortiz didn't press, just clapped his shoulder. "You need backup, I'm here." Ethan gave a tight smile. Ortiz's loyalty reminded him why he stayed in the Corps. Brotherhood trumped betrayal. Marcus called 3 days later, his voice tense. "Ethan, you sitting down? I pulled your financials. Lauren applied for a $300,000 home equity loan last month. Your signature's on it." "I didn't sign anything," Ethan said, voice low. "Didn't think so. It's a forgery. Middle initials wrong, handwriting's off. Co-applicant's Travis Wheeler. Guy's got a record, fraud, DUIs, bad checks. They're trying to cash out your house." Ethan's pulse thudded. "Can you stop it?" "Already on it. I flagged the bank, froze the application. But there's more. Travis works with a realtor, Victor Crane. Shady guy, specializes in quick S. The C-17's engines roared as it touched down at Joint Base Lewis McChord, the Washington rain a gray curtain beyond the window. Sergeant Ethan Caldwell, 38, gripped his duffel, his face unreadable. 2 months after Lauren's email, divorce, drained accounts, Travis in his Seattle home, he was back on U.S. soil. He hadn't told her he was coming. No calls, no texts, just a motel room booked under a false name in downtown Seattle. Ethan wasn't here to beg or confront. He was here to dismantle the traps set against him. He met Marcus Reed, his Marine buddy turned lawyer, at a diner 10 miles outside the city. The place smelled of burnt coffee and grease, its booths empty except for a lone trucker. Marcus slid into the seat across from Ethan, tossing a thick folder onto the table. You look like you haven't slept since Kabul, Marcus said, eyeing Ethan's stubble and shadowed eyes. Sleep's overrated, Ethan replied, voice steady. What did you find? Marcus opened the folder, spreading documents like a war map. It's worse than we thought. That $300,000 loan? Forged signature, like I said. Travis Wheeler's the co-applicant, but he's not just some gym bro. He's tied to Victor Crane, a realtor with a trail of shady deals. They're running a scam, Ethan. Targeting military families, guys like you, deployed, out of the picture. They push wives to refinance homes, forge signatures, then sell the properties cheap to Crane's buyers. Your house was next. Ethan's jaw tightened, but he stayed silent, scanning the papers. Bank statements, loan applications, a photo of Travis from a police database, smirking, mid-30s, a rap sheet listing fraud and DUIs. How many others? Ethan asked. At least 6 families in Washington, Oregon, and California, Marcus said. Crane's buyers flip the houses for profit, Travis gets a cut, and the wives, some are in on it, some are just manipulated. Lauren's role? Unclear. She signed the loan app, but the forgery's on Travis. Ethan leaned back, processing. His home, his decade with Lauren, wasn't just collateral damage. It was a mark in a calculated hustle. What's the play? He asked. Banks already flagged the loan as fraud, Marcus said. I've got a contact at the FBI's Financial Crimes Unit. They're interested, but they need hard evidence to move. Your security footage is gold, Travis and Lauren in the house acting like they own it. If we catch them planning the sale, it's conspiracy. Ethan nodded, pulling out his phone. He opened the security app, new footage loading. Travis stood in the living room, gesturing at the walls, Lauren nodding beside him. A third man, older, slick suit, Victor Crane, Ethan guessed, snapped photos. Ethan turned up the volume. Listed by next week, Crane said. Got a buyer ready, cash offer, $420,000. Travis grinned. And the husband? Lauren's voice hesitant. Crane waved a hand. He's overseas. Won't know until it's done. Ethan's grip tightened on the phone, but his voice stayed level. That enough? Marcus's eyes gleamed. More than enough. Send me the link. I'll get it to the feds. Ethan forwarded the footage, then pocketed the phone. What about Lauren? She knew. Marcus hesitated. Hard to say. She's in deep, sign the loan, let Travis move in. But the way she paused on that tape? Could be she's scared, not all in. You want to press charges if she's complicit. Ethan stared at the diner's cracked linoleum. 10 years of memories, Lauren's laugh at their wedding, her hand in his during his father's funeral, clashed with the woman on that footage, selling his life. I want what's mine, he said finally. And I want them to pay. Fair enough, Marcus said, gathering the papers. One more thing. Travis tried accessing your VA loan portal again yesterday. I blocked it, but he's desperate. Watch your back. Ethan's motel room was a beige box, the hum of I-5 traffic seeping through thin walls. He sat on the bed, laptop open, reviewing the security footage again. Travis's smirk, Crane's casual dismissal, it fueled a cold resolve. But a new alert popped up, a login attempt on his retirement account traced to a Seattle IP. Not Lauren's style. Travis was escalating. The next morning, Ethan drove to the bank, a squat building near Pike Place. He met a loan officer, Ms. Torres, showing his military ID and the forged loan documents. This isn't my signature, he said, pointing to the scrawled Ethan J. Caldwell. My middle initials are. Torres's face paled. We'll freeze the funds immediately, she said. And I'm required to report this as fraud. Do it, Ethan said. As he left, his phone buzzed, a text from Lauren. Bank called about the loan. What are you doing? We can talk like adults. Ethan's thumb hovered, old instincts urging him to reply, to hear her voice. Instead, he forwarded the text to Marcus. She's rattled, he wrote. That night, Ethan parked a block from his house, the Seattle skyline a faint glow. He didn't approach, just watched. Travis's pickup was in the driveway, Lauren's car gone. His phone pinged a new security alert. Travis was in the garage, rifling through Ethan's tools, stuffing a box with power drills and a chainsaw. Stealing again? Ethan saved the clip, his pulse steady. Marcus called at dawn. FBI's on board, he said. Your footage ties Travis and Crane to the scam. They're building a case, but they need you to stay clear, no contact with Lauren or Travis. One wrong move and they walk. Understood, Ethan said. But as he hung up, a new text from an unknown number hit his phone. Back off, soldier, or you'll regret it. No signature, but Ethan knew. Travis was scared, sloppy. Ethan didn't reply. He forwarded the message to Marcus and the FBI, then leaned back, eyes on the motel ceiling. Lauren and Travis thought distance made him weak. They were wrong. Every move they made tightened the noose Ethan was tying. Seattle's dawn was a damp shroud, the city waking under a drizzle that blurred the motel's neon sign. Sergeant Ethan Caldwell, 38, sat in his rented sedan, parked a block from his house. 3 months after Lauren's email, divorce, stolen savings, Travis in his home, he was a shadow in his own life. The FBI had his security footage, proof of Travis Wheeler and Victor Crane's scheme to defraud military families. But Ethan wasn't waiting for justice. He was building it. His phone buzzed. Another text from Lauren. "Nathan, please. Bank's freezing the loan. Talk to me." He ignored it, forwarding the message to Marcus Reed, his lawyer. Lauren's panic was rising, but Ethan stayed cold. Yesterday's threat from Travis, "back off, soldier," had only sharpened his focus. He opened his security app, checking new footage. Travis was in the living room, pacing, phone to his ear. "Crane, we gotta move faster," he hissed. Her husband's sniffing around. Ethan saved the clip, another nail in their coffin. Marcus met him at a coffee shop near the waterfront, the air thick with espresso and salt. "FBI's ready to raid," Marcus said, sliding a tablet across the table. "Your footage shows Travis and Crane planning to list your house. Conspiracy, fraud, forgery, they're cooked. But Lauren's a gray area. She signed the loan. Either she's in on it or Travis played her." Ethan's eyes flicked to the tablet, a still of Lauren nodding as Crane photographed the house. "She chose him," he said, voice flat. "Let her explain to the feds." Marcus nodded. "One problem. Travis knows someone's watching. That text he sent? Sloppy, but he's desperate. FBI says stay clear, no contact, no slip-ups." "Copy," Ethan said, but his mind was already moving. Travis was a thief, not a mastermind. Desperate men made mistakes. Ethan just had to wait. That afternoon, he drove to the county clerk's office, filing a formal challenge to the $300,000 loan. He presented his military ID, the forged documents, and a notarized affidavit denying the signature. The clerk, a wiry woman with sharp eyes, stamped the papers. "This blocks any property changes without your presence," she said. Ethan thanked her, pocketing the receipt. Step 1, his house was locked down. Back at the motel, his phone pinged, a security alert. Travis was in the garage again, this time with Crane. They loaded Ethan's tools into Crane's SUV, laughing. Ethan's blood simmered, but he saved the footage, emailing it to Marcus with a note. Theft on top of fraud. Then he saw something new. Crane fiddling with the security camera, trying to tilt it. Ethan smirked. The footage was already in the cloud, untouchable. At 9 p.m., Lauren called, her number flashing on his screen. Ethan let it go to voicemail. "Ethan, it's me." Her voice trembled. "The bank's talking about fraud. Travis says you're causing trouble. Can we just talk?" He saved the message, forwarding it to the FBI. Her fear was real, but so was her signature on that loan. The next morning, Ethan tailed Travis's pickup from a distance, keeping 3 cars between them. Travis parked at a downtown office, Crane's realty firm, a glass-fronted building with a gaudy logo. Ethan stayed in his car, snapping photos as Travis and Crane met inside, gesturing wildly. He didn't follow. The cameras at his house were doing the work. New footage showed Crane in the driveway on the phone. "List it tomorrow. Caldwell's overseas. He's clueless." Ethan forwarded the clip to Marcus, heart steady. They were digging their own grave. By noon, Marcus called. "FBI's moving tonight. Your latest footage seals it. Conspiracy to sell under false pretenses. They're hitting Crane's office and your house. Stay away, Ethan. Let them handle it." "Understood," Ethan said, but he drove to a spot 2 blocks from his house, parking under a cedar. He wouldn't interfere, but he needed to see it. At 6 p.m., unmarked SUVs rolled in, FBI agents swarming the property. Ethan watched through binoculars as Travis and Crane were led out in cuffs, faces pale. Lauren appeared on the lawn, hands over her mouth, sobbing as agents carried out boxes of documents. Ethan's chest tightened. Not from pity, but from the weight of 10 years unraveling. His phone buzzed. Marcus. It's done. Travis and Crane are detained. Lauren's not arrested yet. FBI's questioning her. You okay? Yeah. Ethan lied. Eyes on Lauren's silhouette. She looked small, broken. Part of him wanted to walk over, demand answers. Instead, he started the car and drove back to the motel. This wasn't about her anymore. It was about the other families, the ones Travis and Crane had targeted. Ethan's fight had just begun. The Seattle motel room smelled of stale coffee and damp carpet, but Sergeant Ethan Caldwell, 38, felt lighter than he had in months. 4 months after Lauren's email, divorce, stolen savings, Travis in his home, the FBI raid had flipped the board. Travis Wheeler and Victor Crane were in custody, their scam against military families exposed by Ethan's security footage. Lauren, his wife of a decade, stood on their lawn during the raid, sobbing as agents hauled away evidence. Ethan had watched from a distance, then driven away. Revenge wasn't his goal. Justice was. Back at the motel, Ethan met Marcus Reed, his lawyer and former Marine, over takeout burgers. Marcus spread papers across the bed. FBI's case is airtight, he said. Travis and Crane copped pleas. Travis got 7 years for fraud and conspiracy. Crane got 10, plus restitution. They hit 14 military families across 3 states, forged loans, quick house sales, same playbook. Your footage broke it open. Ethan nodded, chewing slowly. And Lauren? Marcus sighed. She's cooperating. Claims Travis manipulated her, said you were hiding money, planning to leave her. She admitted signing the $300,000 loan, knowing the signature was forged. FBI's leaning toward no charges if she testifies and Sir Ascendant Clause. And Lauren? She's cooperating. Claims Travis manipulated her, said you were hiding money, planning to leave her. She admitted signing the $300,000 loan, knowing the signature was forged. FBI's leaning toward no charges if she testifies and settles, full restitution, no claim to your house or pension. Your call, Ethan. Press charges or let her walk. Ethan stared at the motel's peeling wallpaper. Lauren's voice from her voicemail echoed, Ethan, please, talk to me. 10 years of marriage flashed, her smile at their 2010 wedding, her tears when his mother died, her cold hug before his last deployment. Now she was a stranger who'd sold his life. No charges, he said finally. She loses the house, my pension, everything. That's enough. Marcus raised an eyebrow. You sure? She's not innocent. She's not worth the fight, Ethan said. I want this done. Marcus nodded, jotting a note. Deals in motion. Divorce finalized in 6 months, clean break. House is yours, loans voided, savings partially recovered, $60,000 back. You're whole, minus the emotional baggage. Ethan exhaled. Whole. The word felt hollow, but it was a start. The next day, Ethan drove past his house, Ranger's leash in the passenger seat. The driveway was empty, no Travis's pickup, no Lauren's sedan. He didn't stop. The place held too many ghosts, late-night talks, backyard barbecues, a life betrayed. He called a realtor friend, Jenna, and listed it that afternoon. Sell it fast, he told her. I'm done here. Weeks later, the house sold for $480,000. Ethan used the money to buy a cabin in Montana's Bitterroot Valley, 2 bedrooms, 10 acres, a creek whispering out back. No neighbors, no noise, just sky and pine. He retired from the Marines after 18 years, his pension secure. The Corps had been his home, but 20 years was enough. He'd given enough. In Montana, Ethan adopted a German Shepherd, Scout, a lanky rescue with wary eyes. They hiked the trails daily, Scout bounding ahead, Ethan's boots crunching gravel. He started woodworking, crafting tables and chairs for locals. It wasn't much, but it kept his hands busy and bills paid. The pension covered the rest. Some nights, he'd sit on the porch, Scout at his feet, watching stars prick the dark. Lauren crossed his mind less often, her face fading like an old photo. Marcus heard she'd moved to Portland, working at a new dental office, starting over. Ethan felt nothing, not hate, not love. She'd made her choices. He'd made his. One evening, sorting mail, Ethan found a letter from a stranger in San Diego. You don't know me, it began, but I'm a Navy wife. My husband was deployed when Travis and Crane tried their scam on us. The FBI gave us your name. You saved our home, our future. Thank you for fighting when it would have been easier to walk away. Ethan read it twice, then pinned it to his fridge. On quiet nights, when the past pressed too close, he'd glance at it, a reminder that his fight mattered. A month later, Marcus called. FBI closed the case. Travis and Crane's network is dismantled. 11 families got restitution because of you. Thought you'd want to know. Thanks, Ethan said, standing in his workshop, sawdust on his hands. Means a lot. You ever think about Lauren? Marcus asked. Sometimes, Ethan admitted. But I'm building something new. Something mine. He hung up, stepping outside. Scout nudged his hand, tail wagging. The creek murmured, the air sharp with pine. Ethan breathed deep, feeling the weight of the past lift. Travis and Crane were behind bars, Lauren was gone, and 14 families had their lives back. He hadn't set out to be a hero, just to reclaim what was his. But sometimes the fight chose you. Ethan grabbed a beer, sat on the porch, and watched the sunset bleed gold across the valley. Scout sprawled beside him, content. The letter on the fridge, the cabin, the quiet. They were his now, hard-won and untouchable. For the first time in years, Ethan Caldwell felt free.